can't hang up. I don't want this to end. Not again.
Nothing in my life has ever come easy. Nothing. Everything I've gotten, and I haven't had to work for it. I've had to bust my ass for it, fight, claw, and scratch my way to get it.
The emergency broadcast system came up. Stay inside. Freezing rain. Icy conditions. High winds. Stay inside. It was like beeping. Stay inside. And Goggins like, this is amazing, man. Let's go for a run.
The aspect of being a failure doesn't come from the success in the end. It comes from if you really quit on yourself. Or if you don't put in the effort you know you can put in, kind of holding back on your true potential.
When others finally see the results of your solitude, they'll call you lucky. But you'll know the truth. Luck didn't bring you here. The endless hours of grinding in the shadows did.
The only problem with solitude is that once you taste its unmatched peace, you crave it endlessly. It's like solitude spoils you for everything else, and you find yourself yearning to be alone again.
I call it a boxy lifestyle. I lived in a box. It was like, okay, kitchen, gym, sleep, rest, and that was it. I had a circle, it was like a bubble.
I didn't have a father growing up, unfortunately. God took his life, cancer.
And then when my mother died, I was like, you know what? I have nothing else to live for, so I'm going to go 100%. And I took the chance.
This is about the focus.
Yeah.
You're in there and you're just there and your mind's inside the muscle. Nothing else exists and you're pushing to the extreme. And how hard you push is only a matter of motivation. Because your mind is it's the mind that fails before the body. And
nobody get in there and put the gloves on for me. Did nobody go out there on that road and run miles and miles for me? Nobody took the broken rib. Nobody took the bloody nose. I did it all. I dedicated myself to my craft and I bust my ass. I'm gonna continue to keep believing in my skills, keep listening to my father, keep listening to my uncle, and sit on this throne.
You get comfortable with a win. People can get comfortable with a win, and slack off then. Slack off on the training, slack off on the diet. They've won one. They're winners now. That's not me, You sleep on a win and you'll wake up with a loss. So I just carry on.
Remember that. Don't run away from fear. The devil wants you to run from fear. Because that's when he's winning. Face fear. Never lose when you face it. Trust me, never lose when you face fear. When you can stop being afraid of fear, the devil's gonna pick on somebody else.
Stop making excuses. Simple as that. You can make a million excuses why you didn't work out this morning. You can make a million excuses why you missed your wife's birthday. You can make a million excuses why you didn't get that raise, why you didn't take that leap of faith. You can make a million excuses, but deep down inside, and consciousness is eating away at you, that it's an excuse.
I think internally there's a battle of good and evil. When you want to do something good, but you can get away with doing something bad, the right thing to do is to do the good thing, and then you feel better because of it.
Realize I might not be the Mr. Olympia one day, right? I might just be an average pro bodybuilder. I might not be the Mr. Olympia. Somebody behind the screen is. And that my passion is to motivate that person to get on the fucking stage and be fucking great.
Doubt is not going to work. No doubt. Doubt should be eliminated. You should be a doubt annihilator. You should be an annihilator of doubt. You kill people in the ring, you should kill doubt in your mind and in your soul and your heart. Kill it. It's dead. Fight it every day because it's going to be hard. It's not going anywhere.
Does it matter how you lose a series or only that you lose?
No, no, man. Losing is losing. Different degrees of it, but the result is the same. So it doesn't matter. You go to game 7, you lose in game 7. It sucks just the same.
To me, it's more about setting a goal, and I know what my goal is. And my goal is to win my first pro show. But I'm not going to sit here and boastfully say that I'm going to do it. But I am going to sit here and say that I'm going to do everything in my power. I'm going to work my ass off.
Stop living your life like you can do it again. Quit, man. I'm telling you guys.
If it can be done by a human being, I can do it. And it rings true. It's like, how far can you run? As far as I have to. Well, how fast can you run? As fast as I can. If you can run that, I can run it. If you can get up and over that mountain, I can do it too. How you gonna do it? One step at a time, brother. Here we go. And it makes you so mentally resilient. And I've seen some dudes do some Herculean feats, and they do it just because they're too afraid to say no.
Maybe you can't find your why because you're lazy. Maybe you can't find your why because you have zero fucking ambition. Regardless,
You need to go out here and find it.
Fighting takes everything. It takes everything. And I've done well in this game, and sometimes in the beginning, I didn't give everything. So that's why now that I'm at this age, I'm like, yo, give everything. So that way when I'm done, I just know I did everything I could to be the best. And I was. And I'm proud of myself.
One of the most profound things that you can do to become more confident is to become okay with saying, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to do right now. And if you can say that, all of a sudden, the world becomes just a lot easier.
It's the foundation of making money. It's the foundation of fitness. It's the core principle of achievement and fulfillment and success in every area of your life. And the people who don't have it, they make up all these excuses as to why their life ended up the way that it ended up, when in reality, they just couldn't make the decisions in the short term that they needed to make to get where they wanted to go. And so they didn't.
Because this is about making it to these fights fresh, and that is it. Your hard training should already be done. You should already have your sparring and your rounds done. It's about keeping loose and getting through your fights now. We're all on our own journey, as am I. So this is it. You come in here and handle your own business. You don't need nobody to hold your hand.
More than anything, just what true intensity was. You know, people think they're training hard in the gym, but the idea of taking like every set close to failure or to failure every single day and pushing every single week after week, year after year, it's different, you know? So that was my standard when I started training at like 16 years old.
One of the reasons why I work out so hard is when I work out really hard, I have respect for myself.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. If you force yourself to do something, for that day, I know I'm not a lazy piece of shit. For that day, I know I'm focused. For that day, when I'm done, I'm like, I know who I am. I get shit done.
We're so goal-oriented that we're so focused on our goals and what's ahead, and we can't even enjoy what's around us. All this that I should be grateful for, and instead I'm beating myself up because I want to accomplish and be more, and I'm only focused about my vision, about myself in the future. And I just want to tell you guys, don't do that.
The question of the day is, did you get better? Genuinely, I just said that. Did you get better today? If you didn't, believe it or not, you wasted the day. No bullshit. And you wasted a day that you never get back.
If you're going through anything, any type of pain, any type of loss, any type of endeavor that you're struggling through, if you're gonna quit in here, it's a lot easier to quit out there. But if you fight in here and you're able to tap into that new level, another level of your mind that you haven't gone to yet, everything in the real world, bro, you're just like, damn, man, I do this every day anyway. That shit phases me. I'm built like that. They're not built for this, but me, I can take it.
When you wake up in the fucking morning, you're the only person that can take action and help yourself out. You're the only person that can speak up. You're the only person that can defend yourself. And you're the only person that can change being a loser to a winner. And to be someone who's great is to be someone who doesn't listen to naysayers and doesn't listen to haters. If you wanted it bad enough, think about if you went your whole life chasing one goal, do you really think if you actually tried and actually put in the necessary amount of effort, you wouldn't achieve it? It's inevitable when you believe in yourself. And that's why when you wake up, you gotta believe.
All right, hold on, Heath. Just because you see somebody physically in shape, you never know what they're going through mentally. So at the end of the day, it's good to ask somebody, yo, how you doing mentally, bro? And let them talk to you. No, how you doing physically? It's cool. How you doing mentally? What's on your mind? Talk to me. That's the first aspect of this camaraderie we got.
The weights don't lie. The weights don't get lighter because you had a bad day. The weights don't get lighter because you got broken up with. How you do anything is how you do everything. If you aren't willing to work, if you aren't willing to grind day in, day out, somebody else is. And that somebody else is going to be the person that beats you. That somebody else is going to be the person that you said got lucky when they just wanted it fucking more.
It's times that I be going, like, I be having to build myself up to be, you know, it'll be times that I break down and I'll be like, alright, cool, like I gotta wipe my shit out, like I be in the back of the car type shit by myself. It's that split 2 minutes or a minute I'm going through, I just gotta let it all out, and then I still gotta make sure everybody around me good, so I gotta pretend like ain't nothing going on. You know what I'm saying?
You had 5% left, you did. I was afraid. You gotta be willing to fail. If you can't fail, what I learned in the gym is you gotta go out there and fail. You gotta go out there and fall down. Most people who've won big have failed big. You know, see, even you know, when I promised myself as a little boy, I said I can never leave the gym knowing I have 5% left.
And when you're really focused, you hear everything. When I come to the ring, I notice everybody. I can hear you breathing. I can hear you talking. I hear everything. When I come out, I have supreme confidence, but I'm scared to death.
For me, it was identifying a role model, someone I thought was the best, and then changing that role model every time I thought I was catching them. I move on to a different team, and there's another figurehead equal to that. I'll just chase this dude. Start climbing up the ladder, and there's another guy chasing that guy, chasing that guy, chasing this guy. And it's really just surrounding yourself with people that you want to be like, that are positive role models that help you up the ladder.
At some point, you're going to have to be a man and realize that pornography, video games, television, social scrolling, alcohol, weed, all these things that you use as distractions to avoid and escape your realities, your frustration of being a loser, they dig you deeper into that hole of being a loser. All of those vices that I just listed, you've got to eliminate. Because you may not be addicted to all of them, you might be addicted to some of them, but I can tell you all of them are some form of dependency.
I'm glad you got your sleeves rolled up and you putting in that work, dirty hard work, where it all happened at, in the dark. That means nobody's on X talking about it, nobody's on IG posting about it, it's not going across the bottom of the ticker, da-na-na, da-na-na. But if you know you're applying ferocious determination and direction, you living and walking in your purpose every single day, and you're focused on the results, man, the reality is great things will happen.
I didn't want to keep forgiving myself on Sunday and then repeat and do the same thing again Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and then go, oh, now I can be forgiven. I was like, no, man. Forgive me, Father. I know what I'm doing, and I keep doing it. Cut the quit giving yourself that out, that parachute, even though you may have it, even though Word says grace of God will forgive you. Yep. I need to strong arm myself. Put my damn hands on the wheel. Look in the mirror and go, it's on you. Because it is.
Man, most important thing, number one, is you got to get rid of doubt. If you got doubt in what you're doing, it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? And the way to do that is you have a plan. Because if you got a plan, it's not like just a pipe dream. You have a step-by-step list of things to do to get to your goal.
Because if you don't have a goal or something you're working to in your life, it feels like your life has no meaning. In a sense, you know, there's like the idea of that gap between like the man you know you can be versus the man you are, and it's almost like the meaning you find in life is in the journey between those two. But it's kind of about the tension between the two, so much about the journey. If there's too much tension of I need to do X to be good enough, or I need X, then it starts to hurt, you know?
Your plan will work, so make it happen. Shock everyone. Shock yourself. Your seemingly impossible mission is personal. Do you know something? It's only impossible for others because they can't see what you can see.
It's a lot of things you really got to be good at, and it's a lot easier if I don't have any distractions. I think it's necessary to limit your options and narrow your focus. Everything I do is purpose-built. Everything I do in my morning routine is so I can control my optimal end state, and so I can have bandwidth for other people.
So many people think all day long on what they're scared of. You know, before a wrestling match, you know, back in the day, I remember a lot of my opponents be like, oh man, what happens if I lose? What happens if I get caught? What happens if they take me down? What the fuck are we talking about? All that tension, all that energy going into the possibility of failure. Why can't the individual, the human, erase that mentality and put all that tension is, you know, how great it's gonna feel when I pin that motherfucker, when I take him down, when I beat him down in front of his home crowd, when I win something, when I go after something, when I put the work in and achieve it. Why don't we think that way?
So hard to stay hyper vigilant, and that's not tactically, that's just a thing. Kobe Bryant, hyper vigilant. Michael Jordan, hyper vigilant. People that do anything at a super high level, you're living inside there. You look at neurosurgeons.
But the people who can get a training style or a routine, I mean, not even a training style, but just can get themselves into a routine that they actually like, that they can actually kind of stick with, that honestly, that's a pretty big part of the puzzle right there.
I've never seen people train like this before, so I feel like it's one of those things that once you see that you're capable of doing it, coming back in and doing it is a little more manageable.
You surrounded with savages, so you turned into one. If you can't do it by yourself, like Unc says, get a group, you're gonna go farther.
If you wanna go fast, go alone. If you wanna go far, go together. And all that shit meant to me was family first. Keep your family first, and at the end of the day, if you gotta go and you bring your family with you, then you'll be able to get there.
When I set my sights on doing something and I know what I'm capable of, it's not like a surprise to me. It's a surprise to y'all because y'all didn't believe me, you know, but for me, I knew I could do it and I believed that I could do it. I just needed the opportunity.
Quitting is a habit. If you quit the first time you run into difficulties, you'll always quit when the going gets rough. You will, in effect, establish a pattern for failure rather than a pattern for success.
All that hoo-yah, all that hype gets real quiet. And they march you out to that surf zone. That water, that Pacific Ocean is cold as shit.
I never grew up with friends or anything. I've always been by myself, even as a kid. You know, my dad would always tell me, if you're gonna do something, do it alone, you know. But I was always, as a kid, like I was always socially awkward, you know. I couldn't speak as a kid.
Because when you start believing what other people say about you, you become a shell of yourself. You become somebody that's different, and you're trying to be perfect for others that don't really give a fuck about whether or not you breathe another day. They're like, man, you just another one that we could just troll or hate on.
Jump shot.
Yeah, that's all you do. So I had to make the shift to be able to stand on my own 10 toes and be able to be a man out here.
I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. Yeah, I think that's what greatness is or should be. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. Yeah. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
Preparation is everything. You know, if you prepare to the best of your abilities, you know, great things is gonna come from that. You know, I always say hard work beat talent when talent don't work hard.
Fear is why you're afraid.
No, I'm not afraid. I'm angry.
It will be harder than you think and greater than you can imagine. But isn't that the point? It's hard to get. That's what makes it valuable. There's no getting the outcome without becoming the one who deserves it. That's why it's rare, and that's why it's worth it.
I show them techniques, show them the form, I show all that, but I often tell people, look, you wanted to stop at 10 there, yeah, but because I'm here and because I'm shouting at you and I'm pushing you, you did 14, you did 15, you did it. Yeah, I didn't lift it for you, but I motivated you, so it's obviously a matter of motivation, how far you're going to push. And for me, bodybuilding was a way to change my life, and it was the mentality I put myself in is that I'm fighting for my life here.
I heard something the other day that the average is people make it to January 13th before they quit. 13 days of discipline is the average. After you hype yourself up and get ready, is 13 days is the average before you quit.
Because people think it's no big deal to hang out with idiots, but the problem is you're absorbing their energy. And instead of hanging out with really cool people and you absorb their energy, and everybody like gets out of there feeling fucking great. Yeah. What a good time! What a good time!
They just suck the energy.
They suck it, and they make it about them, and they get negative, and they're fucking passive aggressive and weird or whatever it is. It's like, I don't want to deal with him anymore, man.
3 men on a ladder, one at the bottom, one in the middle, and one at the top. Which one is best to be? The one that's still climbing. Having things isn't that fun. Getting things is fun. It's sort of the vicious other side of doing anything for the purpose of achievement. That when you end up getting to the achievement, you realize that the achievement wasn't anything. It was literally just the end point that gave you direction.
Develop a vision, and you have to do that in dialogue with yourself, right? It's like, if I could have what I wanted, what would satisfy me? And you might think, well, I could never get that. And I could say, well, maybe not, but I'll tell you one thing, man. You can move towards it. And I know that everyone who knows the underlying neuroscience knows this. Almost all the pleasure is in the moving toward.
And it wasn't like someone came around and said, hey, man, you can do this. This is all me.
One, not all feedback is created equal. You don't want to listen to the people who are closest to you. You want to listen to the people who are closest to your goals. And so listen to the people who are already at your goals, who already have achieved those goals, and listen to their feedback. Because I'll say, for example, for me, like if I rarely do, but if I post anything of me at the gym, The only people who comment are people who are smaller than me.
Both are hard, but one takes you somewhere and one leaves you. Make the right choice.
So it's just that the workout and having done now something for yourself and having pumped up and having struggled a little bit, it makes you feel good for the rest of the day.
Pain is a necessary evil. Get used to it, motherfucker. Make friends with it and then kick fucking pain's ass. And that way, when it comes to take you down, you can brush that fucking shit off.
He used this sentence I fucking adore. He said, I could always hear my better self clearing his throat in the room next door. And then his world came crashing down. I wondered whether or not that guy next door was going to stop fucking coughing and kick the door in. And sure enough, he did. And it's this lovely explanation of the difference between chosen and unchosen suffering.
When you want to achieve the highest goal of all time, you are going to have to learn how to get your ass kicked all the way up that damn mountain. If I want to be way up here, it's going to take a bunch of small micro failures along the way. But you have to understand that that is part of the process.
So choose, you want comfort or you want glory? You want to watch or you want to be the one they watch? Kill every distraction, brother. Smash everything in your way and take what's yours.
Why don't you smile? I do. But I figured something out. That's why you'll never hear me say I'm missing something. I found it years ago. You find it in the suck. You find it in the suck, and you find it repeatedly in the suck.
Well, that basically goes back to being disciplined. Discipline is doing what you don't want to do, but do it like you love it.
Did anyone help you there do it?
You know, I ran into a few people that enlightened me a great deal on just the situations I wasn't aware of in life before.
I'm unstoppable. I don't care what it is. I'm unstoppable. Nothing will stop me. The greatest of all qualities to guarantee success is the absolute willingness to go at anything and refuse to stop until you achieve it.
You got to show up every day, no matter what, and it's going to be hard. It's not easy. Who said life was easy? And especially being a man, it's hard. But we just got to show up. We got to lead by example, and that's why I put those kind of songs on my music every now on my videos, because that's how I feel. I feel like I'm a warrior.
You learn more from your losses and things like that. That is true. You learn a lot from your losses, but as well as that, you learn from your wins. People can say, let's say you beat a guy, then you're at the beating that guy. You're a winner now. You know what I mean? You're a winner. So now I get to take the foot off the pedal. I don't need to learn so much. I'm at the beating this guy. I'm a winner. You know what I mean? That's gonna stop you. That can take over people, especially in this game. When you're signed to the UFC and there's all media things going on and there's people looking for pictures and that can take over. That can make you feel like you're bigger than you are.
Going against the odds to be successful because it's not in your favor. The game ain't built for your success. You gotta be a beast. You gotta be harder. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be meaner. You gotta be hungrier because you're gonna be fighting an uphill battle. It's like you're a young kid trying to do it. It's gonna run you down. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna beat you up, but life gonna do it to you. Failing gonna do that to you too. That's real though.
The people who actually make results and get gains, make moves, they're the guys who not only train hard and consistently, that's the fucking biggest aspect there is. Whether or not you've got good genetics, shit genetics, a good training style, maybe kind of a less than optimal training style, you're never going to get shit if you're not doing this shit on a consistent basis for a long-term time frame.
The apostles who went out there, every single one of those guys died rather than deny their belief. And nobody dies for a lie. Nobody.
They try to blackball me. They kept me out. They talked bad about me. They said I wasn't good enough. I couldn't beat these top welterweights. And I just kept my head to the sky, and I kept praying to God that I get the opportunity to show the world how great Terrence Crawford is. And tonight, I believe I show how great I am.
At the end of the day, if you've exhausted all the resources, and I can look at myself in the mirror and go, it's not for lack of effort. I tried. You are gonna mess up. You are gonna fail. You're gonna make stupid errors. Everybody does.
I've been trying to find good people for so long. I'm tired, bro.
If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did.
Get frustrated with yourself. You need to feel some emotions right now. If you're not, this is a waste of a video. You need to get frustrated with yourself. You need to get emotional with yourself. You need to cry possibly. You need to feel the pain. Those things need to happen. There is no intention of this you really need to feel that emotion in your belly while you're going through this. There's got to be some annoyance, some emotional, some pain, some frustration being felt.
I don't think people tell you who they are. I think people waste words explaining to you who they want to be. A lion don't got to tell a zebra what time dinner time is. If a lion got to tell a gazelle what time dinner is, then it may not be a lion. Only thing said to the zebra is, what? You know what? Nothing, motherfucker. Nigga, I'm hungry, so you better not be around.
It's gonna feel better when it's over. And you know this. Waking up, working out, taking care of some tedious task. You also know that if you don't do the hard thing, you're going to feel inferior. You know, you're gonna feel weak. Those are the two outcomes.
A real man gonna understand, like, man, whatever coming your way, God made it come your way. Let's see, can you handle this before I do this to you? Hit you with it. So if you can't handle this, are you gonna get swallowed for the rest of your life? You hear me?
You can beat most people at anything if you just don't quit when it gets boring. Not hard, boring. That's where everyone else stops. Because wealth is made by doing boring things for an extended period of time in more volume than any sane person would find reasonable. The world belongs to those who can keep fighting after realizing winning won't be fast, easy, or guaranteed.
I was out of this world by myself. It was a race against David Goggins. It wasn't a race against, God, I want to look good for this person or that person. It was me. I got to change myself.
It's not my fault. It's everybody else's fault. And therefore, I'm just a victim of what's happening. I'm just a victim of life. This is counter to the idea of extreme ownership. Because if you take extreme ownership, it's like, oh, my boss doesn't like me. What can I do to improve that relationship? My team isn't performing well. How can I help them improve their performance? My coach doesn't put me in the game. What can I do to get my coach to see that I'm worth putting in the game? If you're blaming other people, if you feel that coming out of your mouth, stop it. Don't let those words come out of your mouth. That's the root of the problem. It's all a big acceptable lie.
This idea that you're going to have linear output just by cranking every day at the same amount of time, that's machines. You know, machines should be working 9 to 5. Humans are not meant to work 9 to 5.
I'm grateful that I'm going to get to this one day. I'm grateful to be able to help people. I'm grateful to be able to have a job, whatever it is, man. Like, be grateful for where you're at today, because I promise you, all you have is right now. Now, that also being said, you want to be talking about where you're going rather than where you've been.
Everybody gonna be lonely when you start grinding and then your friends disappear. Cause everybody gonna be around you when you don't have no bread in your pocket. But when it's time to grind, when it's time to motherfucking take, a little self-care, go ghost a little bit, deactivate the ground. When it's time to motherfucking work on yourself, sometimes it gets lonely, but it's okay.
There's only one reason you're suffering. You're focused on yourself. Self-focus creates suffering because the nature of the human mind is to find what's wrong. And we're all selfish at times, but if you stay selfish, you suffer. The fastest way out of suffering is appreciation.
Whenever you feel negative or unhappy about anything, you say, wait a minute, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for what happens. I can't change the past, so I'm not going to spend a second worrying about the past. I'm going to become so busy working on my future and my goals that I don't have time to think about the past.
And that means you gotta be quiet. Search your soul, search your mind, search your abilities, and you'll find it. But if you're not looking for it, you won't find it. So you gotta go start your journey. And the journey starts with you finding, why the hell am I here on this planet Earth? Why am I here? And if you don't know that, you will live the rest of your life searching, always asking the question, why?
Every single day you wake up, you are either feeding your fears or your dreams. When your life comes to an end, you either end up living your fears or your dreams. There's no in between.
It's part of the journey, it's part of the process, it's part of our education. In my case, I learn the most when I'm down. And it's good that these certain moments happen, because when you are in the top of the wave, you don't see under what's what's going on. I'm always saying to my friends, it's good to have problems. It's the only way that you can improve.
Isn't that enough to give you some peace, some grounding in the chaos? For you to finally find an anchor in rough seas? For you to wake up and think, I'm going to dedicate myself and I'm going to train and I'm going to get stronger tomorrow because I trained today. And I didn't want to train and I was tired, but I did it anyway. And now I'm stronger than I was. And that is 100% definitively true.
If you're comparing yourself to someone or even to a future self, and the gap is so painful that it paralyzes you, then you've created a dragon that you don't have the tools to master. And so what you have to do is you have to scale the dragon down to size. And you want to scale the dragon down to size until it's a size that you are willing to move toward.
All due respect, you got no fucking idea what it's like to be number one. Every decision you make affects every facet of every other fucking thing.
There are going to be many times when you question that bet and you question that belief, but like that gets you nothing. Don't worry about it. It's enough. You just got to do your thing and keep going and focus on what you can do. The doubts are going to be there. Ignore the doubts. The worst doubts aren't the ones people put on you. It's the ones that you put on yourself.
Mm-hmm. I walk in the office, he looks at me, and he's the first recruit. I said, you know what? Damn, you're a big fucking dude, man. You want to be a SEAL? I said, yeah, but he didn't give me the look of like, you can't do it. He gave me the look of, let's go weigh you. He weighed me, 297. He went through his little chart, started writing all this shit down. And he said, you got a lofty task ahead of you. I go, why? He goes, well, this program that I was trying to get into, because I was in the reserves. And I was gonna go from the reserve program to an active duty SEAL. So this program was shut down. And I was gonna be in the last class, like 1 or 2 classes left before it shut down. So I had about 3 months to get the weights down.
100 pounds in 3 months.
106 pounds.